This is our
Oh, I'll go.
6:20, 7:31.
That's okay. I'll go back to it.
Okay.
Nobody's hiring you out there.
Is that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For this next year. Yeah.
Ready to rock? What's that? Yep.
Wait on
Oh,
the secretary.
Yep.
Okay.
Good to go.
Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to Colorado Board of Zoning Appeals. I just want to remind everybody that you are being recorded, so everything you say will be heard again by somebody. So start out with pledge allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Secretary, roll call.
Dan Osborne. Present. Andrew Strati. Present. Barry McManaway.
Present.
John Christ is present, and also noted that our building commissioner, Steve Gorski, is here.
All right. Everyone had a chance to look at the July 18th minutes. I'll entertain a motion to support.
A motion that we approve the minutes from July 18.
I'll second.
Got first and second. Everybody in favor, sign saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
We also need to do the special
Work session
work session.
from July 31st.
Oh, yeah, for those. Yeah. That was for what date?
July 31st.
Okay,
Propose that we approve the minutes from the special meeting on July 31st.
I'll second.
any second? All right, all approved, voting saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion approved. All right, to the petitions, case number 2024-B13 at 818 East Shore Drive, over. Petition been filed by David and Catherine Nikolai.
Nikolai.
Okay. To approve variance of development standard to request a variance of 4 feet 6 inches from the required 10-foot setback to the proposed porch constructed along the side yard south properties. If I want to present that, I know it's table 10 guy.
Do you want me to announce myself?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Titus Parker with Black Diamond Builders. You want the address?
Yes, please.
Yep, 3254 West 600 North. Leesburg, Indiana. 46538. So the variance request is for, we'd like to remove an existing treated deck there that's on the southwest side of the house and replace it with a concrete deck with bluestone over top. And the variance request is that was filed, was it 4'6" or 4'4"?
4-4.
4'4". So we had updated prints last month, if you guys remembered. So we updated everything, got an updated site plan, and the variance that we actually need is 7'10". I don't know if you guys can see the updated site plan or not, if you guys have any
Yeah.
questions. And that 7'10" is to the gutter.
So right now you're changing the variance requirements request
Right,
from 4 feet 4 to
7'10".
I'm sorry, you said 7'10".
7'10", yep.
Thank you.
from the required 10 foot.
Mr. Parker has larger drawings if you need to
If
see
you
it.
guys would like to see the,
Yes.
You have an overlay of what was last time and what's this time?
as far as the outdated one?
Yeah.
I don't, no, those are disregarded.
Well, you can show it to us.
Yeah. Yeah, this one. It's a little in there.
So we were at 4-4,
Right,
so we're very much.
right, yeah, the
And-
is that.
And I think the issue was the angle of the lot line.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's a question. That's what he's saying. So
Let me get out here.
Shot piece and just do it. So this 11'9" just needs extra foundation, and then 8'8" is the gutter on the overhang, and then we want to center here,
7-9. Okay.
right, and then you're here with 7 foot is the gutter, and you can put the foundation here off the property line. Yeah. And this would be the variance at 9'3" to the foundation of the new court and 7'10" gutter.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
That's still back to the wall.
Yeah.
6 feet. Okay. There you have that. Okay.
What we were presented before. This is the foundation plan. This is the first floor plan. Okay, so. Let's see. First question I got is about stairs here. Okay. Because they're not showing that here, so let me go ahead and start asking.
Yep,
Okay, so. In looking at your new one
Yeah.
and looking at the previous one that you had submitted, there were steps on the east and south side.
Right.
Okay, and I don't see those reflected here on this new one. So that does have some impact on this, I believe. And so the question is, what are you going to do about the steps?
So there's no steps on the south side at all. Those got removed completely. Now on the west side, there will be steps, but in the site plan, the bump out there on the west side actually is the steps. That does reflect the bump.
Bump out on the west side.
Yeah. Okay. So this right here, that is the steps. If you see, so here's,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that is the steps right here, and we've eliminated everything on the south side.
The way the property is, it'll just be dirt up to the poured concrete foundation, because it's,
Okay.
there's no steps on the south side.
Could you please identify yourself?
Oh, I'm Catherine Nicolai, homeowner at 818 East Shore Drive.
Okay, so next then question is I see here 7'10" and 9'3".
So 9'3" is to the foundation, 7'10" is to the gutter.
Okay.
Of the overhang.
Will the enclosure on the porch, is that consistent with the line that's north of the patio here?
Show me.
Okay, so your covered porch, you're gonna go
Mhm,
here,
yeah.
okay. Then are we to assume then that the
That's correct.
edge is gonna come
Yep.
here?
That's
So
correct.
the part of the patio is gonna be open and part of the new porch is gonna be open? Or,
Yep.
or, wait a minute, or,
So
so the stairs would begin right under the gutter?
So when you talk about over here on this west side?
Yeah.
So we actually won't, there'll only be one step, because we'll actually have grade come up to here. You'll just have one step, you'll be stepping off here. And we'll eliminate the steps on the south side.
one step further than this one.
No, there won't be, it's like you would step off of this onto the grade. of the actual soil.
So you're gonna be raising the grade up?
Yep.
On the west side.
And then illuminated pink on the south. Side. I'll show it.
Okay.
Already.
The existing construction on the south side,
Mm-hmm.
where there's the overhang.
Yep.
How far is that from the property line? Which measurement are we looking at there?
So that is this one right here, this 7 foot to the gutter of the overhang right here, is what we're going to the foundation.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it, am I correct in assuming we've got 10'9" right next to the 7 foot?
Right.
Am I correct in assuming that the 10'9" would be to the first, to the wall of the first floor?
That would be to the foundation. Yeah, that'd be correct. That'd be correct. Yep.
Okay, so you've got 10'9". Okay, I understand.
This is all existing here.
Yeah. This is all existing. Overhang. So that's what I was asking. This 7 foot, 7'9", 8'5" measurements. Measurement of the gutter above the second floor.
Yep.
So this is existing.
Yeah.
And what he's adding here is gonna be the 6 foot teachings.
Yes.
I just didn't want the two different.
And the 10'9" has to do with the fact that the property line is not parallel to the house,
That's correct.
right? Okay.
I can't remember, do we have any letter or anything from the adjacent neighbor?
We do. Yeah.
Okay, there was approval of what you wanted to.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So to make sure.
Yeah, they read the minutes from,
And I guess my next question is to Mr. Gorski, in your opinion, what's your thoughts?
regarding my thoughts on specifically, definite improvement in what they presented last
I agree
time.
with that.
I think what you're talking foundation and almost 9 foot, what,
9'3".
9'3",
Right,
so side yard's 10 foot and the rest is overhang,
right.
the difference, so.
That's all I have.
I have no question. Now, I just want to say that I appreciate the change. At least you went from 4.4 inches, 4 feet, 4 inches to 7 foot 10 inches. So that's a big improvement right there.
And just one other question, the existing deck that was there that's getting torn out, how does that relate to the foundation of the news, what you're requesting?
Yeah. So it runs. Sorry. It runs.
Is it in any of the previous stuff you gave us?
No, there's no. But it would be. Oh, there might be some pictures. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yours.
Well, there you are.
So I guess my question is, would any of the area of what you're requesting, proposing, extend out any further than what the current wooden deck is?
It's actually farther back.
Okay.
Building part is when we go draw a straight line along the south, there's that little triangle, because right now the deck angles. So we have angles on the south side.
It did angle before.
It did angle before, but we're gonna make it straight. That's why we're asking for the variance. But it won't go as far west as the old deck.
Okay. I don't have any more questions.
And you got anything else? Anybody in the audience have anything? No objections, concerns?
They're online.
We have two people online. Does anybody online have any concerns or questions?
No questions or concerns.
No.
Go to the finding of facts. Do we need to make a motion for this? Go to the contract first.
Let's define these back first.
All right, with the finding of facts, there's three things we have to meet. If you disagree at any time, then it'll be automatically up to vote no.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Once,
First one, general welfare. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Second one is adjacent property. The use and value of the area adjacent to property included in variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Do you agree or disagree? And third one is practical difficulty. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The situation shall not be self-imposed, nor be based on the perceived reduction of or restriction on economic gain. Remind everybody that if you disagreed, anytime that goes up. So,
don't we have to take a vote on each of the various questions as to whether?
No,
No. we
no,
don't? Okay.
no, you have it on record.
Should be noted here on the finding of facts that it currently says 4 feet 4 inches and it needs to be changed to 7 foot 10 inches.
you can note that on the bottom. That was changed during the meeting.
All right, get that change on. You moved to a motion.
A motion that we take a vote on case 2024-B13.
So there's a motion to approve.
A motion to approve, I'm sorry, yes.
And, second,
I'll second.
and a second. All right. Got a motion to approve this motion, this variance. All in favor?
Was that go individually or?
Probably should, if being recorded. Yeah. So.
You don't have to do a roll call vote, but you
don't
certainly
have to,
can.
but-
Fine, whatever you want to do. It's a little bit different than what we've been doing, so.
Right. But that was being recorded and. Nobody online being recorded as far as that goes. So, all in favor, will saying aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. Ken. Thank you, guys.
one,
Yeah,
we used to go through every one.
Aye. That- If you disagree, you go.
But we're not required to go through them individually. It is changed, but
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy, it's easy. A lot easier that way.
it speeds it up quite a bit.
It's people,
Yeah,
and I agree with
that's
them,
what we need.
everybody's waiting on it. All right, next case is 2024-B14, 216 West Cass Street, Culver, Indiana. Petition been filed by William Schaefer to approve the variance development for a 6-foot setback on the east side yard and require 10-foot setback, 2-inch setback on the north rear yard from the required 10-foot setback. This is to put an addition on the house, make the house in your foot. State your name and your address.
Yeah. Yeah. Roland Schaefer, 216 West Cass Street. We would like to add a room to the north end of our house. Our living room, dining room, kitchen nook is 10 feet wide and 20 feet long. That's all in that one room. And there's a path through from the front door. Our bedroom is 7 feet wide and a queen size bed is 5 feet wide. Gives us 1 foot on each side of the bed. That's, you turn sideways and get to bed. The new addition, which would like to add the house to the garage. This way we could enter the garage in bad weather. The new room would be a living room and add 4 feet to our bedroom. The drip line on our garage is 2 inches from the property line. That garage has been there for 50 years.
Yeah.
It was, it's 2 feet from the property line, but that drip line is what we go by. The house north of our garage is 19 feet plus to the property line. We're asking for a 2-foot variance from the property line would make the new addition come even with the garage. A 4-foot variance where on the north side of the property would give us the room we need. On the east side of our house is 6 foot from the drip line and the property line. We would like to have the same 6 feet extend north to the end of the new structure. This is sort of a hardship in our house. We're both in our 80s, upper 80s. Someday we're going to make this our permanent home. So we had, I got several letters from my 3 neighbors. I got several pictures of our property line and pictures of the garage. They didn't have ideas of how far you're supposed to be from the line when they built that garage 50 years ago, just so it wasn't on the neighbors. But our property line is 27 inches from the base of the garage, but the drop line is 2 inches. You want to read my letters to the?
Would you like me to read those now?
As well. Might as well, so not real long.
Okay.
Read them if you want to.
So I do have 3 letters that Mr. Schaefer gave me from his neighbors. The first one is addressed to Mr. and Mrs. Schaefer. I appreciate your need for more space and your kindness as neighbors. We honestly don't like the idea of being boxed in as the addition would cause. We spend a lot of time on our deck enjoying the neighborhood through the limited amount of breaks through the current homes around us. An addition that you're seeking would eliminate the view, causing our already lots to become smaller. Sincerely, Chuck and Ruth Diltz, 212 West Cass Street. The next letter from letterhead Justin and Hannah Croy, 211 West Lake Shore Drive. Dear BZA, my wife Hannah and I fully support Verl and Sylvia Schaefer of the 216 West Cass Street, Culver, Indiana, added on to the north side of their home, provided that the apex height of such addition does not exceed the apex height of the current structure on the property. Burl and Sylvia have chosen to remain and spend their golden years in Culver during a time where it would be just as easy for them not to. Not only do they need this addition, but they deserve it. Burl and Sylvia have been upstanding members of our community for over 60 years. During that time, they have chosen to raise their family here, and in turn, many of their children and grandchildren have also chosen to remain as part of this community. Our community has been impacted by Burl and Sylvia Schaefer in more ways than the confines of this letter would allow me to describe. Burl and Sylvia Schaefer have been pillars of the community since the late 1950s. Burl's iconic barbershop was once a centric part of this community that served multiple generations. Burl established Schaefer Lake Service that still continues to serve our community today. Burl's philanthropic contributions, led by his love of horology, I hope I said that right, are evident in our town clock that stands downtown in Heritage Park. In short, it's people like Burl and Sylvia who deserve these types of variances. People who have contributed and invested in our community for multiple generations. As a sixth generation Culver resident with a young family of my own, I pray that I will be able to raise my family in the same community that has been so positively impacted by the Schaefers. I admire the contributions that Burl and Sylvia have made to our community, and both Hannah and I fully support their addition. Justin and Hannah Troy. The next letter. This is very short. This is from Brian McCormick. Making Bag LLC has no problems with this plan. The McCormick family is on board as well. Good luck, Brian McCormick.
The first letter says that in addition to seeking that it would eliminate our view causing our already small lot become smaller. How do you make a lot smaller? The view might be smaller, but the lot is not smaller. I have a drawing of the survey that shows the room that we'd like to put on. I'd like to.
I believe.
You do.
We got a copy of it.
You have it?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good enough.
Yep.
My pictures here shows my property lines in conjunction with the garage, which is, like I say, not in very good order out. But it's there.
Guess I'm trying to look at this and understand where your neighbor that wrote in about the views being blocked by this addition. Cause it just looks like to me, you're just filling us. I don't see how this blocks. Okay. I guess I was just confused because you're just leveling up with the garage and there ain't much view between the garage and that house if you drive by it. So, okay.
Where do they live in relation to you?
You gotta speak up. I can't hardly hear.
Where do they live in relation to you?
East.
Stilts?
Yeah, back to the east. Yeah.
Let's live east.
Stilts live east,
Yes.
immediately east.
Yeah. You're working back.
I don't know if it shows on that.
Where is Dilts live?
Yeah.
You got them right here.
Yeah, the next house east.
Yep.
Yeah. I know what you're-
We have approximately 12 feet between our two houses from the property lines. That's why I'm asking for a variance to continue on
Right,
up until we get a new addition.
Square it off. Yeah.
right. I understand that you want to do that yourself. And that would be my first choice if I was you. But you're wanting to expand your bedroom. I mean, I see where that is too, as far as it
Yeah.
is. But is there no way of expanding it back to the west and connecting to that garage? Without?
The new addition will be a little bit west to hook to the garage, yes.
Right, but I mean, could you bring it far enough forward to the garage? I mean, right now your setback is what from the street? I don't see on here.
A long ways.
Sure, why not? That's one now.
It's not, the garage, the setback from the garage
The setback from the house.
is 20. I don't know, that's a good question.
The garage is,
No, what is the setback from your deck to the street? Do you know that number? Or-
No.
No.
that's
Yeah.
approximately, to my property line is approximately 20 feet.
It's pretty hard to tell. Yeah.
I mean, I would see it less. Sorry. And the reason I'm saying this is not against you or anything else, but when you put a variance in for, a 2-inch further down and plus the 6 foot from the backside, that variance is gonna be permanent on this lot. And I know you talk about this is your permanent home for what?
It's gonna be there forever.
Next 20, 40 years for you, but but for the lot, it's gonna be there for the next long, long time. So we'll have an existing house that's gonna be, like you say, this one was built 50 years ago, next to it. Now this is gonna be added on to that 50-year model as far as setback, and it's gonna be that.
Our- our-
continuously.
Our property line, if I give up to make a 4-foot easement in the back, I mean, we could fudge that up to possibly 6 feet at the most off the property line in the back. Would cut the living room down another 2 feet, but
Well, I was thinking if you came, further toward the west and made your access to here, you wouldn't have to come over here, you'd have your living room and your bedroom wider.
Roof line's complicated.
Huh?
Roof line complicated.
But
And if that's the case,
If you would
I'd
identify
suggest-
yourself, please.
Tim Howard, Village Construction. I would suggest if you done that, tear the garage down. But then at that point, you're back in here asking for the same variance you're asking for right now. You couldn't pull it back any further this way to the, was that south?
Mhm.
To the south. It just makes sense to square this off and from the garage to the house. Everything ties in the way it should tie in with roof lines.
I understand that. I mean, that's,
this is what we see from our backyard. It's over to the,
Tim, could you give me your address, please?
1155 South Main Street, Culver.
across our empty lot, and this is all the trash we see over here.
oh.
And they're worried about their view.
And this is Chuck out here.
That's,
And this was your property line.
I'm going that, yeah, because that's the same.
Right, so it's just an extension of that. It's an extension.
In perspective
Yeah, the
here.
new addition isn't gonna go out any further.
It's not gonna be,
than
it's just gonna,
It's not gonna go out any
it's just,
further.
it's making it. So it's gonna,
It's not changing the relationship of the setbacks with what, it's just leveling with the existing.
The house is already out that point. You're just connecting three
So
lots.
you come on here,
So-
this is my house here.
right, this is Chuck.
Trees, no,
right.
yeah.
Okay. So when you come across here, it's not viewing impairment, whatever.
right, so not conforming.
I mean, what are they viewing from the wagon?
So that's correct.
That's what we see.
That's true. It's not.
Setbacks.
But yeah, I mean, when I first saw this, and I didn't know if you could come out here and come out here, but yeah. I don't know what you would have turned this whole thing,
Yeah, that wouldn't have enough room.
but then your roof line.
You would have that for a garage.
Exactly.
That's right.
You can't take that non-conforming lot.
4
and make
feet
it
from
conform,
the property.
No.
No matter what you do.
Or even 6 feet.
So this
Yeah.
makes
That
some
would give us a
sense.
6 foot,
To square that off.
the same as the 6 foot side.
Right, that's what all this towns.
I would-
It's always come.
I would actually like that a whole lot better than 2 inch.
Yeah.
And I really,
When I found out that was, it's 2 feet, 2 inches.
Yeah.
And that 2 inches is what the drip line is, and I know that's what they go by.
Yeah.
You just leave it at
So
that.
basically you're extending the non-conforming.
extending the
Oh,
non-conforming.
both, you're not changing that.
But
You're not, I
you're
know, I know.
extending both non-conforming.
Right.
Anybody else have anything?
I do not.
I don't.
Mr.
Yeah, you
President,
want- go ahead.
I just want to make a point. these are my in-laws. And I am going to excuse myself. I've talked to them about this, and I've talked to the building commissioner about this, and I've even listed you. I'm gonna excuse my vote on this for whatever you want to call it,
Well,
I just feel that that's the proper thing to do here.
well, we don't want anybody thinking anybody's prejudiced.
That's right.
Well, here's
So I-
our ownership when we're gone.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
We can do something about that, bro.
So, maybe I
Possibly, you still
hey,
might be.
maybe I should vote.
Maybe straighten us up.
So you let that cat out of the bag.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Are you gonna recuse or?
I'm a
Recuse.
Losing him.
He's recusing you
I'm recusing, yes.
due to conflict of interest.
Exactly, I don't
Pay
create
the bill back.
conflict of interest, I just don't wanna, get caught up in anything, okay?
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
We may have to go on wedge
I can
roll from the
still make my- I
bedroom.
can still make my points, okay?
Oh,
At this time, do you want to make it?
I just did. You're extending the non-conformity.
My question is, do we have enough members here to vote that?
Three's off.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
But all three have to be, it has to be unanimous.
yes, gotcha.
So you're saying you would be willing to, how would that work on your property line? Back to back off the north side back to have a
We
porch?
have a step back in.
I wouldn't, I don't suggest it.
Huh?
I don't suggest it.
And for the
Okay.
reason,
You want to go for the 2-inch?
Yeah, I mean, just for the point that it's a non-conforming lot to start with. We could come in here and tear this whole house down, and we'd be back in here next month asking for the same variance that we're asking for right now. It wouldn't matter.
that's what I'm asking, if it's gonna mess up with your roof line and everything, if you back it up off that north side.
Well, I feel like the addition they're asking for isn't that big to start. So backing it up a foot to me is
So
giving
he's
a
talking
lot.
about making it, under your words, you said make it 6 foot, just like you do that. But that's,
No,
But the garage would still be.
the garage itself would still be where it's at, but they're not.
He talks about backing it off the north a couple feet. is what he's
I'm just- Yeah, like he was talking about putting the two
Back here,
So.
yeah.
bring this back.
Yeah, back.
Instead of being all over there. So.
no, I know.
yes, again, I go back to this non-conforming lot. This structure is already here. Why not still add to it?
Right,
Because it makes it more non-conforming.
that's what I'm
Can-
saying.
can
It's
that-
still not-
My
it's still-
question,
it
Mr.
doesn't
President,
matter.
is can you
Go
make
back
it,
off.
once it's not
It's still
conforming,
gonna be there, what does
Can
that
you
do?
make
What
it
does that
more-
change?
you would have to extend the existing nonconformity out, encroaching on the property line more to make it more out of nonconformity by sitting on the existing property lines and building in. Are you really making it more non-conforming?
No.
Because you're not extending closer to the property line.
Well, I guess you're still non-conforming.
It's still a
Yeah,
non-conforming lot.
You're not making it
Is it a-
conforming in any way.
What, yeah, right, what degree do you
I
consider?
get, that's what I'm asking. Can you make it, without going closer to that property line, can you make something more non-conforming?
Only if we step outside the point of the non-conforming lot, I feel like we're making the situation.
I make a question to them, that's all.
Yeah.
It's gonna be non-conforming, it's just how much.
Exactly.
Right,
How much it is, yeah.
is there, but it's non-conforming, it's not degrees, right? It's like.
I'm wondering if it's binary,
It's like-
yes or
It's
no?
like being almost
Well,
pregnant, either
yeah.
you're pregnant or you're not.
Either it's non-conforming or it's not non-conforming, the way I look at the problem.
Right, but that's,
We've been in these situations other times where I've got variance to variance. And that's always a question. If it's a non-conforming lot, it's a non-conforming lot. If you're not stepping outside that property line, then
right, but there's
still non-conforming.
there's restrictions on non-conforming lots, so yeah, you can.
Well, sure there is. I mean, this
Back
outfit had
on
never
the
been
same
built,
footprint
but it
of a
was.
non-conforming. But you can't, if you come back and you're adding to that, then you're gonna have to get a permit.
Sure, and that's why we're here.
But this is, you're asking for a variance request. Anybody have anything else?
Any idea what the proposal would do to the permeability of the entire lot?
As far as water runoff,
Yeah.
Yeah, pervious, impervious.
well. Just no, I can't tell you.
I'd say
that.
it'd be really close to 50%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a non-conforming lot.
Right.
Well, still you have to meet pervious.
Sure. I mean, we'd have to figure out what he's got on the west
That's it.
side south.
Based on the drawing, I don't see any problem
I don't
with
see
that
no
at all.
problem with it either.
I did not think so, but I just wanted to bring up the question.
Good question, but
Anything else? Commissioner,
Yeah, no question.
Mr. Cook? Nope. Anybody online?
Any questions there?
Okay. Anybody in public?
No, no questions.
By the public? She answered for you.
I'm gonna play town manager and public a little bit here. I asked, this is the question to consider. When we look at this structure, it's small and it's rental in nature, right? As it exists. I'm wondering if we make this a house that can be residential moving forward in terms of permanent living with the addition. It's a consideration. It's not something that's normal, but is this improvement, this extension, going to make this house more livable? And that's a question that we're challenged with when we look at properties around town here.
And if that's the case, then that's something that we can't decide here. It's got to be decided.
It is, but it's a question when you look at something like this. I wonder if you guys consider, I'm just asking the question.
Well, we've got to consider, I understand.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. But at the same time, when you're looking at only one way of doing it, which that's what I'm getting. You know, you can't do it any other way other than, in other words, you can't bring like the front of the house over toward the garage.
It wouldn't be an
and you're able to widen for the room part of it.
It'd look goofy.
Well, we're not into looks. But I understand. Look at me.
Okay. Thank you. I just was questioning.
So
Well, I
that's
think at some point, does that mean we set a precedent? You know?
BZA can't,
They don't-
Does that have to go back to the plan commission?
Yeah.
by state statute, BZA can't set a
Right,
precedent.
well, that's.
just let everybody know that every variance that comes before this board
Is
is
it?
looked individually.
It's not,
In other words, somebody can't come in and say, well, you did
They
it
did
for Mr. Schaefer, but you're not doing it for us.
right.
And that's never the case. So.
Okay.
Just to make that clear, start with for anybody else. Anybody else have anything else? Concerns? All right. And since it is, you've got to be unanimous between the three people that are voting, just let you know, is you have the choice to either withdraw after we go through the finding facts, whatever, and come back. If you had a different plan, whatever, I mean, I'm not saying whether we'll vote yes or no, but under your opinion as far as what's going on here, if you want to withdraw and come back another time with another plan, whatever, that's your choice. If you want us to move forward and we vote and it does get voted down, under that circumstance, you'd have a year before you come back. And that's just letting you know what it is. And we can go through the finding of facts.
Should we go through the finding of
Yeah, we're
facts?
going through the
Yeah.
finding of facts and you'll be able to decide after
So
that.
that way we get the finding of facts done before we vote.
Before we vote.
Just as long as you can do the finding of facts consistently, like you did last time.
Right.
Yep.
Don't wait for each response.
Yeah, if anybody disagrees. Okay, so finding facts. First thing is the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Either agree or disagree.
Do we want to poll each person?
Same last time, needs to be consistent.
Okay, number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Okay, practical difficulty. A strict application in terms of zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Situation shall not be self-imposed, nor be based on the perceived reduction of or restriction on economic gain. All right, go through. Did anybody disagree with anything on
I did not disagree.
I did not.
this? I did not either. So I move forward.
I propose that we approve the variance for case 2024-B14.
And I'll second.
Got first and second. Any discussion for it? Not? All in favor, sign saying aye.
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 All right.
Any opposed, same sign. All right. Approved. Motion passed.
Yes.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Steve.
Hey, Steve, are you around now? No. No, okay. That project that we're gonna be doing on the college. You know, the rainbow.
Yeah.
We scheduled
Dan,
something maybe for
point of
the week
order.
to meet.
Okay. Steve,
Thank you.
Bro, I'm glad you're not gonna get stuck in your
Should
bedroom
should
anymore.
yours be?
It's pretty
put up here that you-
It is.
I'm sorry?
Dan's say he recused himself.
No, it doesn't have to. It's in the minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, he shouldn't fill one out
I
of.
don't have to fill one.
No,
I didn't.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Got it. Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
No, you got.
No, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
See you again. Yeah.
I don't read this, I don't hear it. I don't read
Mr. President,
That's what I call lucky.
for your
man.
next case, you have, Mr. Brad Wallace will be online, and I think someone's in the room for him.
I'm just a neighbor speaking on his behalf with my terms.
All right. Case number-
Brian, are you there?
Hold on,
Yes,
give us just a second. All right, case number 2024-B15. This has been filed by Brad Wallace, 458 Lakeview Street, Culver, Indiana, to approve variance development standards of south front yard privacy fence, requesting 23 feet 10-inch setback from the standard of 25 feet. And I say Brad is online.
he is online.
If he wants to go ahead and present.
Mr. Wallace?
Yeah, if I share my screen, can you see the pictures that I share, or what's the best way to share
Don't
that?
have it on, it'll just be on my laptop. It's not up on the big screen.
Okay. Well, let me share that regardless, so at least Steve, you can see it. But
We got pictures.
So we do have pictures.
okay,
I took pictures, so we do have pictures here for the board.
okay. Well, the story behind this is this past summer, we live in Tampa, Florida. We're only there in the summertime, June and July. We purchased this home 4 years ago, and this summer, the project that I was working on was building a south side patio that fell into the backyard to the east, and on that border of the patio, building a privacy fence, 14 foot out from the house and about 36 foot back. And the patio itself was built at that 25-inch setback. The fence then was built afterwards, so it encroached on that 25-foot setback. So just like Steve said, or whoever said, sorry, I apologize who said it, I'm just requesting 14 additional inches so that it sits in line bordering the concrete patio, and I don't have to put the fence on top of the concrete.
So as you can see in the pictures, the fence is already existing. You did have a permit for that, but it was installed just.
Okay.
Okay, so all he's asking for is a request. So he doesn't have to tear the fence down,
Yes,
more or less?
yes.
And when was the fence built?
Middle of June this year,
Okay, and patio was built at the same time?
the week prior to that, correct?
Okay. And we're not talking about moving any portion of the fence as it stands right now?
Correct.
Okay.
Is that 50% though? It doesn't look like.
But when it's 25 foot back, it doesn't have to be.
But it's not 25 foot.
It's 14 inches shy of that is what he's asking for.
Right. Was there a variance? Okay, so at that time when the fence was put up for,
No, the fence was just put up in June.
right, so there wasn't a variance applied for.
There was not.
Is it about the,
I spoke to Mr. Walls. He had an outside third-party company put in.
Right.
Not being familiar with the zoning, so his patio didn't require anything particular. But when the fence company came in, they installed the fence. And as he stated, it was 14, it encroached 14 inches further towards the street than it should be.
when was the patio built again
If I had to guess, I'd say June 7th,
of this year?
correct?
Was there a permit needed for that?
No.
Okay. Did it replace something that was pre-existing?
I have a picture up. I know you probably can't see it, but it was just a side yard. It was just grass.
Oh,
And
the tables and
you can see
chairs
in this
out there.
picture,
basically.
there's patios
Mhm.
there.
Okay,
Exactly what's in,
Okay.
what
I
he
can't
shared.
see it, but I can't tell.
It's not in those pictures. He's sharing a picture. I'm sorry, I can't get it on TV.
Is
I
that
don't have
an
enough
alley?
computer connections.
It's
This
a driveway that goes to the back of the house.
Okay. So that's private drive.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
and that's the neighbor's private drive?
No, it's the,
It's
Is private drive?
yes,
patio, is this on the side yard then?
yes. It's on the south side of the house.
Correct.
And they call it the south front yard for reason
Mhm.
because of the alley.
So the fence, that fence is also on the north side of the property, but it's at 25 feet or more. But the way it sits, it's a little bit closer on this side,
Right,
on the
okay.
south side,
What is,
to the west.
Because, okay, as long as it's 25 feet, it wouldn't necessarily have to be 50% then.
Correct, and that's what the variance is for.
Once it, yeah,
So basically asking, the asking for 14 inches is 14 inches from Lakeview.
That would be
Yes.
correct, yes.
So.
So it'd be on the
there's-
west
there's
side
not-
of that.
there- Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no problem with anything on the south side.
Correct.
that's a pretty crowded area right there anyway. Okay, that's that.
how much distance is there from the,
Exactly, yeah.
how much distance is there from the front of the house to the property line, to the street property line?
The house itself sits almost on the sidewalk. I would say it's 4 foot from the sidewalk.
It is
4 foot
close.
from the sidewalk and about 2 foot from the sidewalk to the road in that area.
But necessarily, well, you can see it on the, one of the pictures on the top picture.
Are we, yeah, okay, are we measuring the property from the curb or from the?
From the property line.
Are we measuring the property line from the curb,
The sidewalk.
The sidewalk's right on,
from the east or west end of the sidewalk?
from the west side of the sidewalk going east to the fence.
Okay,
Okay, got it from here to here.
Which would be the property line, is the west side of the site.
It is, the sidewalk's right on the property.
That's right.
Because they have that marked.
that's what I think everything is, the street.
Where is actually the fence going here? Right?
This is east west. This is facing, this is north-south, facing west, okay? Here. Looking at this, that's north, okay? That's north on this picture.
Yeah.
You're standing at the street looking east. So that fence is. The fence to the property line is 23 feet in inch.
Which one?
From the property line, wherever the property line is here, past. To that point is 23 feet 8 inches.
Sorry.
And the property line is the sidewalk.
Yes.
But I was just asking when I was asking east or west.
Because there's no, you know.
So the front of the house is on Lakeview Street. So if you stand on Lakeview Street and look back, you're looking to the east along the south side of the house.
But you're just extending this fence to the corner.
Sure.
Can help with the planners too.
Yeah.
So, what you're looking at, here's the house. So they've got fence right here.
Right.
So the distance should be 25 feet here, at least 14 feet, 14 inches off, so. So if you're looking this way, and he's more than good on his drawings. So it's just this distance here, we just. So we're talking maybe. This distance from. This is standing, this is basically standing on the street, looking at what he wants. The rest this is 14 inches state property. This one is, this one, no, this one, right here. Okay. This is the front of this house, so we're looking from the front to the back. All right. So we're looking that way. So we're not adding more fence. This is what got.
Yeah.
We're just, he just really went to what it's there. Yeah. Oh, okay. That was better. I was confused.
That's right. I was the same way.
I thought we
All
were
he's
adding
doing
a
is
fence
asking
for
for a variance that's something that's already been done.
Yes.
Right, okay, right.
That clears a lot.
Yeah, I know you were getting confused. Little brain fog there, Barry.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where to put the fence. I didn't even say it's already there, but that's all
Okay.
right. Sorry, Art, at least we know that.
Yes.
It's gonna come out 14 inches.
What you're looking at is actual pictures of what's there and what he's.
Okay, so we get the right for what's already there.
Right.
Yep, it's all good.
All right,
Let's move.
all right. Anybody have anything, any side questions?
You're all right. I don't know.
Mr. Osborne?
No, I'm happy.
All right, so we'll move to the. Now, I guess, anything from the public, question? Concerns?
I don't have any questions, sir. I'm gonna keep it quick because I know you guys are busy. Yeah, I'm the neighbor directly to the north wall.
Please identify yourself.
My name is Brian Martin. I live at 464 Lakeview Street. And I'm now going to be a permanent resident, moved in. And I'm just going to tell you that I couldn't be happier with what he's doing with the property. He's re-sided everything, put new roofing in. The fence was professionally done. It looks great. It's adding value to my property. I couldn't be happier with them. They are permanent residents when they come here for summer and they use the house and enjoy it. They've been here for a long time. They grew up in this community and they plan to utilize it and teach their kids to respect the community as well. That's all. I don't want to take up all your time, but I couldn't be happier with these neighbors.
Thank you, Karen. Anybody else? Not anybody online?
No questions or concerns.
Thank you. All right, we'll move to the finding of facts. First one, approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Do you agree or disagree? Can I remind everybody disagree with that? No. Adjacent property, the use and value of the area adjacent to property included with the variance will not be affected in a potentially adverse manner. Agree or disagree? Practical difficulty, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Situation shall not be self-imposed nor be based on perceived reduction of or restriction on economic gain. That's agree or disagree. Did anybody disagree? Anytime on this? Okay, majority. So, in that case, we want to propose
I propose that we approve, the variance for case 2024-B15.
I'll second.
got a first and second. Everybody in favor, giving a sign of aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Steve, you don't need me to stay on, do you?
No, sir, you're all done.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Run.
All right.
Thanks, sir.
Back in the cases, everybody wants a small break, whatever. Or give you 5-10 minutes, you want to, if not, we'll move right on. Case number 2024-B16, 522 South Main, Culver, Indiana. Variance development standard of 20 yards to install front porch to be historically accurate as the house was originally built, requesting 3-foot setbacks. And then, okay, standard calls for a 10-foot setback. In addition, we request a variance of development for a privacy fence on the south side yard. The request is for a 15-foot setback from the property line. Standard calls for 25 feet. State your name and your address.
Hello, I'm Maureen Martin Dickinson. I'm at 522 South Main Street. We're coming to you this evening for the variance of development standards to build a front porch. Our request is for 4 feet setback from the front property line. We have drawings and you have them with me? You should. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the drawings in your packet that we had submitted. This of note is that it is a unique platted lot. It's non-conforming by town standards, like many of them in Dotson. The previous stoop that we had was very rickety, in great disrepair. So you'll notice in the drawings that we showed that this new structured porch will be open on all sides as to not obstruct the view of coming and going of any persons in my driveway. That our driveway is on the south side, just like all the other ones on the main streets. So for the porch, that's that part. We are also requesting the variance for the 6-foot privacy fence located also on the south side. The request is for a 12-foot setback. It was stated 15, it's a 12-foot from the property line. In the packets, the privacy fence we're hoping to install would offer us the privacy on the south side of our nearly 100-year-old home. There's several windows, and like most of the homes, they're anywhere from 18 inches off the floor to 6 feet high. The proposed fence would not extend to the end of our homestead, but it would provide the coverage for our windows to eliminate the number of glaring headlights and with the increasing northbound traffic. This placement of the fence will not impede any visibility whatsoever. Our goal is just to recreate an inviting space in our property while enhancing the rich history and beauty of this town. We're open to any suggestions and comments that you may have. It's been a labor of love these past 18, 20 months since we've been remodeling and recovering after some water damage, substantial water damage.
Notice you already started building this.
We did. We were unaware of that. We started the footings. They've been approved and passed the inspection. the footings and everything in there, so yeah, we didn't realize in making what was there larger that we had to come here first. So apologies for that.
What's the height going to be on the fence?
6
Six.
foot.
6 foot. Thank you.
That's a solid fence.
It will be.
So you said that you had this stoop. Is that what you're basing this whole deck off of, is where that stoop came out to? But there wasn't another deck or foundation or
Years
anything?
ago there, if you look on the bottom, there were some, I don't know how long ago, but yes, there were. At one point, there's even 2 slabs of cement, I believe, that will be underneath the deck that come from the porch or from the house. So we'll just be covering that up.
So this deck is not wider, closer to the road than what it was originally?
That is from, it comes out the same distance where the step was.
Yeah, there,
Or it comes out where the steps were?
Yeah.
was it a 2-step porch, stoop previously? It's going down to 1-step porch, and the additional length from where it was before to where it is now is only 8 inches. So it'll sit 4 foot back on page 4, south side elevation. You'll see it'll sit back 4 feet from the side. The sidewalk is 4 feet, parkway is 18 inches, the curb is 5 inches.
The original stoop going up into the house was 3, 4 feet wide.
It was 4 feet, yeah, it was exactly 4 feet wide, and it came out to, I want to say 56 inches with both steps.
So you have a picture of what it looked like previously.
Now, some, one, or it didn't come all the way up to south side of the house before either did it.
No,
No,
it was just this, it was just the porch we're replacing was a stoop that was just an entryway into the front door.
So you had landscaping
Yes,
on each side of that.
yes.
Now you want to put the deck.
So you have a picture of what it was before. I don't know if you saw it in your packet, you have a picture of it.
Yes.
It's also the picture of what it looked like before is also on page 1. Title sheet.
In the description, it says requesting 3 foot setback, but it's actually 4.
It's actually,
It's actually
it'll
4.
actually be 4 foot from the sidewalk instead of
Okay.
Note that in
Yeah, we need to note that the request has changed from 3 foot setback to requesting 4 foot setback. Is that correct?
correct.
Yeah, you should note that on your findings of fact.
In the request, it says to be historically accurate as the house was originally built.
the inside of the house is what we're historically keeping, not the outside. So that was in conversation that we had with Steve, but
So,
it just, yeah.
Okay.
so
Inaccurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a beautification project.
so then
3, 4 foot setback, 3 instead of 3, 4.
It's,
from 3 to 4.
yeah, it's actually six.
Further.
They're requesting a 4-foot setback.
Yeah.
2 foot.
They're requesting 6-foot variance.
Myself, I mean, you're asking for a variance for something. I don't find a hardship for you to actually need to go longer because of the hardship there on a bigger porch. And that's our job to see it, that request is not just to get something that you want to do, it's something that you need to, so. What's anybody else's take on that?
Our whole life we've been front porch people. Our whole life we've been front porch people.
That's not necessarily a hardship, it's probably a
Yeah,
blessing.
we're not saying that it is.
Or yeah, we're not saying it's a hardship.
Yeah.
And when we applied for the original permit with the county, we discussed that porch and we were given a permit for that, not knowing that by extending it, that we would get variance. That's why the project was already started. We got a original permit from the county, March 27th of 23.
They didn't catch it.
Hmm?
They didn't catch
They
that.
did not.
Do you have any measurements here showing where your property line?
Yep. It's on drawing number, let's see. It's on A3, it's on A2, and the boundary survey, that was done when Maureen bought the house. My name is Craig, by the way, I'm 22, something. I'm Maureen's husband. The boundary survey when Maureen bought the house dated 2/11/03. That shows lot 6. There's also a picture of just the blow up of lot 6 in your packet. Steve, is that correct? Yeah. That's it right there. There it is. And we also have photos that we took at the time in 23 when we went to Marshall County that show the metal markers, which were found with a metal detector from the back of the house all the way to the street. I'll have those photos with you. And those pins haven't moved. And they were required for the architect to be able to do all the drawings at the same time.
Do I have any questions?
No.
Mr. Osborne?
No question.
Mr. Cook?
Yes. The 4 pictures that just have the stoop there and the little entranceway.
What page are you on?
Here's some other pictures that they have.
Okay.
And then looking at that and then looking at page 2 of your site plan.
Yep.
And comparing it to 3. So site plan A2 is what was there and what appears on this picture,
Yes.
right? Which there was probably a 9 or 10 square foot porch or deck, so to speak,
Yeah, I think it was just under 12 square feet.
Okay,
That's not counting the steps. There was a
yes, correct, I understand that. And, you said there's gonna be one step.
Yes.
Correct.
Is that one step going to run the entire length of the porch?
Yes.
And then the roof that's on the existing, or before here. I'm gonna guess it came out 3 feet.
It's been
It
removed.
was exactly two, it
From
was
the
exactly
reading?
2 feet. The one that's in your photo and the one that is 2, you can see along the street side, the dotted line shows the roof around the perimeter.
Okay, the dotted line, so then
Yeah.
that is how far from, that's 2 feet?
That was 2 feet and the new one
Okay.
will stick out 6'3". Because it takes the starting point and goes to the end of it.
6'3"?
Yeah, and that's in page drawing A4, south side elevation.
So new roof will go further out than the deck.
No, it actually, it ends at the,
Including the gutter?
yep,
Well, it looks like the steps further than the roof.
correct.
But you're not gonna have gutter on
Say that again?
it? Are you gonna have a gutter on it?
No, at this time, no.
Just to be clear, that front step is the 4 foot, is that right? The front step, not the porch line.
The front step distance from the sidewalk
There
is
you go.
4 foot.
Yeah,
It had
it shows in the illustration.
A4. That's what it said.
Yeah,
A4.
exactly. Yep, just confirm, that's all.
Okay, so I guess then proposed roof is gonna be 4'3", extend 4'3" out from the previous roof,
No, from the house.
from the previous roof.
Yeah, the previous one was 2.
Okay. Six foot. And
That's also an A4 south side elevation.
this one, which is this or this, that this says 3 foot, but he says it's actually 2 from the roof.
Okay.
And I can see that line here. Okay. So it's actually gonna, this is gonna come out 4'3" further than what the previous one.
And it's on a completely different angle. So,
Angle meaning pitch.
It's a slope, different
yeah,
slope.
different slope.
So in this picture of it basically, I can see here courthouse, it's gonna look very similar to the neighbor to the south. Similar to that, which correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
open.
that's, it's gonna be open
Yeah.
like that in general, same pitch of the roof.
A5 shows the exterior views, which is from all angles.
Will that be in line with that south porch in terms of setback?
No.
It will not.
You're saying the setback on the porch from the street is gonna be the same as what the one to.
From the property line?
No.
No, that's what I just asked, yeah.
No, it's
Either
not
one.
to the south.
Could be separate. What was the answer to that? I'm sorry.
Answer is no.
No.
Our step is closer to the property line than their step to their porch.
But your house is.
The house is closed.
House is closer to the-
That house, 522 was the first house built in Wilson. So historically saying, that was the very first house. The barn in the back was built years before the house was built in 1925.
The house sits back from the property line 10'9" to the, that would be what, east, west, and 8 foot from the property line from this.
I'm sorry, how far
Saying 8
to the south?
8 feet.
On the south.
And that's also on A4-1 west front elevation.
I just got texted. Somebody's been trying to get in on that.
I don't see them on here. They haven't popped up on the team.
You got anything else, anybody there?
It's nice for letting me know.
If not, I'll put it to the public if they got concerns for neighbors. We'll move forward. Mr. Commissioner, would you have any comments on this?
I have 2 comments. This is only the first half of the request.
Pardon?
This is only the first half of the request.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of the request is for the fence.
Right.
So it's all was bundled together. So there's 2 parts, which you can, this board has opportunity. You can say yes to one, no to the other, yes to both.
Yeah.
You have those options. So my comment on this is just, it's not consistent with the distance, the setback distance with the other houses on the street. In that it sits closer.
And I know that we use that, I say line of sight more in town than we do anywhere else because of our different areas that we have as far as residential. Anybody else here have anything? Any neighbors, public, whatever, have any concerns or something we're doing before the vote?
Just had an observation, just Dale Green, 515 South Main.
Just a second.
Dale.
David,
Dale.
sorry, yeah, I can't hear. And we,
No, I probably didn't.
GREEN,
Yes,
and what's the address?
515.
You're across the street from this property.
Yes,
515 South Main?
yes.
Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And just the observation going through South Main as much traffic's going through there now. I even noticed across my vision to 516, when they remodeled their house, they put the porch on the north side of the house to be able to observe the setback on that particular one too. Like I said, up and down South Main, I was just looking for another example like that. And that's all I could come up with. So observational. Thank you.
When that house he's discussing is, their front door happens to be on that side, same side that they put the porch on.
Oh,
So that's where the
I
front.
thought when they
That's-
remodeled.
That's fine, but we're just still deciding. on-
Yeah,
It was observation.
Just his observation.
yeah, oh, I get it.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything?
Should, he made a point, should this be a separate variance for this fence? Because it's like 2 different
It's
things.
2 different variances.
And how do you vote on it?
You can vote for one and not the other, and this can approve part of it. So if you want to approve the porch, the fence will be under a different permit anyway.
No, you can, if you wanted to vote on them separately, just have to note it on your finding of facts.
you would have a B16A and a B16B.
But to put an extra, on your finding of facts, you can put an extra checkbox next to it. And then just make your notes on the bottom, as long as it's documented on your findings.
So we're gonna vote for one wanted to talk about the other.
Well,
I'm
we
still,
can
I'm
talk
still
about
kind of,
those, but you can actually do what you want to as far as your,
You can do it that way. You can make a motion,
Or you
however you
make-
want to make motions.
you want to make a motion just for the porch? We can do that and vote on two of them separate. Or you can,
You can do that. You only have one finding of fact form. I can make
Right.
another copy for, you can, as Mr. Dante said, we can do an A and a B on it if you want.
I mean.
They were both published legally, so you could do them separately. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
we can do that.
So you can do them both separately.
yeah.
And just note on them.
We can do it that way. If we want to address the fence at this time, we can still address it. It's up to you. Up in, but
You can use your first finding of facts and address this first porch if you want.
yeah, we can get that. Does that anybody
Yeah,
else?
let's address the porch first.
Okay, there's somebody that wanted to say something.
Oh,
Robert Cooper, 432 South Ohio Street. I just had a question.
Sure.
On the porch, if it's only 8 foot from the south property line also, shouldn't there be a variance required for that also?
never said it coming up.
As well as the
All they've got right now, as far as what's last, is they want a 4-foot setback, standard on 10-foot setback, which is 8 yards. And then they went from the south yard request for 15-foot setback from the front property line, which end of a privacy fence has to be 25 feet back. That's all they requested, but yes, you're right. The house itself is already built. But as far as the porch adding on, we want to get the same conversation I had before, because I consider that more than conforming, but staying at porch. So, I'm only one person.
And that is here on the drawing. I didn't notice that either previously.
But they're not actually for setback. Where the fence is actually going. Porch for 8 yards. Could have been asked for because you're actually extending in front of the house.
I guess I didn't realize that was 8 foot there either. That should be part of that also.
But I mean, just to be honest, I'm not happy at all with that porch even all the way out to the south corner.
No, that should be part of it, part of the variance.
We're talking about a side variance for the porch now.
Yeah,
Is that correct? Okay. And what's that setback back to the south? How far is the property line? 8 foot?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Maureen.
8 foot with a 10-foot setback
Right.
requirement.
again, that house was built in 1925. It hasn't moved. It's in the same spot, and I'm sure the requirements on a non-conforming lot in 1925. Probably handshakes.
Well, we look at abstract.
Yeah, we go to the abstract, which starts with the first date of February 23rd, 1836.
May I suggest that you withdraw just the deck part of this and resubmit for the 8 foot setback versus 10 foot on the side?
We sat with you for hours and that was never discussed.
I'm just telling you, I didn't catch it, so I didn't catch it.
This picture you got out the window of the truck, is that your truck you were taking?
No, that picture came from Bobby Cooper Jr.
Oh,
That's our neighbor's truck on our drive.
in your drive.
Yeah.
That's comment, Edgar, anything?
Well, then I guess I'm curious if currently the south side of the house is 8 foot from the property line. And you said that his truck was in your driveway. Was his truck entirely in your driveway
No,
or partially?
the property line splits the drive.
So the driveway approach to our house on the south side has a split property line.
You can see in like
You can see on lot 6 on this enlarged picture that we have of the boundary survey, which lot 6, it looks like this, it's the boundary survey. With that one right here, correct.
That's driving.
And they have a driveway approach on the south side of their house, where the driveway approach on the south side.
I know, what are we looking at?
That's right here.
Oh,
Correct. Okay, that's,
Yeah,
Correct.
okay, so you can see, there's the property line. There's the drive. So the property line actually goes to the middle of your driveway.
Correct.
Is it the middle?
Well,
well.
it goes
Yeah.
through the driveway.
Yeah.
The structure on the property to the south closest to the property line is 6 feet 8 away from the property line. It is a lean-to built on the side of their house, and it is 6 feet 8 away from the property. So it's closer to our property line than our house is to our property.
So on that, just on the
I
measure.
don't know, what are you talking about now?
I'm confused, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really confused.
Yeah, we're talking about what structure, I don't see any structure.
Well,
No,
the
it's-
driveway itself for the truck is sitting in the driveway.
He said it was on his property, but I don't think it was.
That's looking right in our living room.
Yeah, I see that, but then, but then
Yeah.
he said something about a lean-to.
The lean-to.
Well, that's what I don't see that.
We're going to-
The lean-to
It's
is
in the
on lot
back of the house, back of
But
the
that's
south
our neighbor.
the neighbor.
Oh,
And that's where you're talking about the lean-to is the one that's over closer to the property line.
yeah, it sits equal with our bedroom and goes down about halfway between our living room and our bedroom. It goes down to just past the end of our bathroom.
Where did you get the measurement from your neighbor's house to the property? Where did that come from?
I took it from a measurement
A measurement from what?
from the property line to his house and from
To
his
the.
property line to the lean-to.
Is that property, is the property line well established still?
It's been there.
Because you mentioned 2000 and what was the last?
When was the last survey?
And the
Yeah.
metal stakes are still there. I just rented a metal detector to verify the stakes were still in the same spot.
Well, the stakes are there.
Yeah.
And so the distance is being measured from, but that can't, right, your measurement is one thing, but have it officially established, but the lean-to itself, I guess what I'm asking is how much of the drive, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not talking about, just looking at the driveway, Maureen, where's how much of that driveway is actually on your side of the property line?
You just said it's
This is
8
really
feet.
rough.
Well, to the house, right?
Yes.
Is 8 foot, how much of the actual gravel driveway there is on your side?
8 feet. 8 feet.
Then the.
So the gravel goes all the way to the edge of the house?
All the way to the house.
Well, the pictures say differently.
Shows the house
Well,
on
it's
the
because it's. wait,
What picture are you looking at?
This one right
Lot
here.
6.
It shows a grass strip alongside the south side of the house. I'm asking how,
Grass strip, it's like it's probably at least 3 feet, maybe more.
Yeah, it starts out gravel where you see the porch and then grass starts growing right about the electric
You know,
meter.
Sparse because of the water line.
I don't see that anywhere. I see grassy area.
well, I think that's, I'm just trying to get an idea where 8 foot was. That's
You're
all.
going by this right here, correct?
Yeah, that's a boundary survey.
Okay, can you show me where you're saying the property line is with this right?
This is just a smaller version of the drawing. We blew it up so you can read it. There's the property line right there. And there's the property line right there. And here it is on the actual boundary survey. So property line, property line, property line, property line. It's just, from the second. So close it first.
These lots were built in 1960.
Along that property line. Where's the fence? I don't understand they can put a fence in there.
Well, I don't see where they can have a driveway there.
So there's pictures of the actual pins in the ground from each direction.
This is a pin here.
Yeah, that's a pin in the right front, and this is the string that extends from pin to pin. From the garage. That's actually our sensible better price.
So. How can you put a fence between here?
It's a privacy fence is all it is. You can put a fence
You're not gonna use a driveway?
It's almost impossible to use a driveway.
Is this back, is this yours?
Yes,
Does it line up with this?
here, it's right here. On this drawing, there's the hay barn right there, which was built first.
So the answer is.
So it's actually,
That's-
it's actually
Yeah,
right on the property.
It's on,
Right on.
it sits on.
That shows it in that picture.
So in the boundary survey, there it is right there. There's the hay barn. Sits right on the property. It sits about 6 inches off the back property. And then that's the house. So it says dwelling for that. So the garage until before the hay.
Yes.
So the hay barn was there.
Is the garage.
Hay barn was there before the house.
So actually, you say it's 6 feet from the south property? The property line is to the house?
So
Basically 6 feet from here to here?
no, this is the house. The house to the property line is 8.
Right.
There's a lean-to on this property that's 6 feet 8 away from the property.
For the house chapel.
17.8
So where do you park your vehicles?
in the back.
In the back mostly now.
And we have an alley behind the house.
So do you get there from the front to go to the back?
No, we can park, if we park in the front, if we can park in the front, if the neighbor parks under his lean-to or closer to his lean-to. If he parks in the center of it, then we have to use the back.
And there's an alley between Davis and Winifred.
If you park there, the neighbor can't.
Yeah, we
Correct.
have,
So-
right, but there's,
Right, no, I just,
Is there an easement that's associated with this driveway to
There is
either of
not.
the two properties?
There's not. No easement's ever been established.
So then how is it dealt with when he's parked in there and it appears that he's in your lot? And what about when you want to get in and out?
we have,
How
we're
does he-
gonna go through the alley.
Yeah,
it's not.
Can I say something?
not a point of contention.
Well, it appears putting in the fence is gonna,
The fence is definitely to be,
is gonna make it a point of contention
Right.
and accessibility too,
For,
To who?
for what?
for both of you.
It-
It sounds like.
you put the fence in, you're
If
gonna
we
be
put the
further.
fence, in, we have to park it
Right,
out the alley.
Okay,
And when they did the
And-
sidewalks, then they put in the new aprons and all of that back in 2010 or whatever it was. I don't even remember exactly. I had asked the town if I can get a driveway entrance on the north side of my house, and they said, no, we put all driveway access on the south side of the house.
well, I guess
I
what I'm
didn't know
getting
we
at is,
provided
he
driveway.
owns,
Mine's on the north
your
side.
neighbor to the south owns part of the driveway.
Yeah.
And you own part of the driveway.
He's got a big truck, so if he parks over there, I park in the back.
Yeah.
And we've been over the last, since February of 2023, we've had 116,000 gallons go through the house. So everything has been under construction inside every room. And so now we're starting to work on the outside. So anytime we had any workers come, everyone just went in the alley and just parked there. So it hasn't been yeah. The contention is just that it's our driveway, but that the 8 feet of it is our driveway for what we're told here in town. And so,
They put driveway, pretty narrow driveway.
well,
Yeah.
that's something I haven't said to the town before.
We have a comment.
I'm Kimberly Cooper.
I'm sorry, you're
Kimberly Cooper.
Kimberly Cooper,
uh-huh.
and I reside at 528 South Main Street.
Okay.
To the south.
Okay. You're the house to the south.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're the ones that we're asking
We're
about.
the-
joint.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I just wanted to speak up and clarify with like the driveway and where my husband's truck is parked. They're stating that he is in their driveway and he is able to get into our parking spots and stay within our property lines.
100%.
There's not a time where we can pull into there and not encroach on our neighbor's property line. So just want to make that clear. The pictures that were taken were on our property line. That were submitted.
Is your only access from Main Street? Can you also access from the garage?
They have two, she said. I can
Or
drive,
through the driveway?
They
Or through the alley, I'm
And
sorry.
it's out.
yeah,
You
I
can,
can drive, yeah, I can drive
Okay.
from the alley. Like their marker is out of the garage.
okay, so you can access the driveway from Main Street without encroaching on them.
Yes,
Yeah, but when Mr. Cooper parks his truck like this on the property line,
yes.
Okay, I didn't want.
We couldn't get in there if we wanted.
so he has a tendency to do that.
We can't tell where the property line is in that picture.
No, the picture's not showing you.
No, but you can
Yeah,
because.
you can see it. It's marked.
It's
And
purple.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, you're right. You marked it, but with all due respect, we can't take that as a property line. That's your marking. We'd have to have it
Would you-
officially surveyed.
Would your
Just to be clear, thank you.
Metal detector does not determine.
Well, we understand.
they
We're
marry,
not
they
getting
marry
this
up to the boundary survey.
whole thing about,
They marry to the boundary survey.
And I have a letter also whenever you want to do that. Just let me know.
We'll go there.
Okay.
But I want to make sure Ms. Cooper, if she's done with anything, any comments as far as your approval of this right here or whatever concern. No concerns whatsoever.
I'm finished, thank you.
Go ahead.
I have an email dated July 28th from Robert Cooper, 528 South Main Street. This was addressed to Mr. Christ, our board member. It states, as you consider variances for 522 South Main Street to build a porch and privacy fence beyond the approved setbacks, please consider the safety of my family and how much the view down Main Street will be obstructed. Building this close to the street will create a hazard as I pull out of my driveway or as my kids ride their bicycles near the sidewalk. As Craig and Maureen have stated many times during complaints voiced in public town council meetings, there's often heavy traffic on this street and they often travel at high rates of speed. The situation will only worsen as the Dunes project gets underway, allowing for more visual obstructions, does not but create more of a hazard for myself and my family. Please see, you have the attached photo taken from the vantage point of his parking spot. This one you see taken from a vehicle in my driveway, and note how close the approaching vehicle is, and consider that I would not be able to see it until I was already in the street. In parentheses, as evident by the porch framing that is already in place. I would also question the validity of the claim that this is restoring the home to how it was historically built. This home has not had a large porch on it for at least the past 30 years. And unless there is a photograph or blueprint to prove otherwise, I would challenge that claim. I also feel to see how there is any sort of hardship present that would be solved by building a large porch and privacy fence so close to the road. Thank you for consideration in this manner. Respectfully, Robert Cooper, 528 South Main Street.
I would like to address this also, since it was mentioned that I sent this to him. I received this email unsolicited on July 28th. And I said, geez, I don't know anything about this coming up to the BZA. And I ended up forwarding it on to Steve saying, hey, I got this. I don't know if anybody else got it or not. So, just to clarify,
Is that same letter that?
this is, that's the same letter he just read. Okay, I
got one as well. So.
You got one as well? Well, and I happened to notice in the packet that was provided to us here with the before and after pictures, that same picture from the email I have is included in this packet. So was this packet created by you folks?
No,
Okay, so,
I created that.
okay.
I know in the past, we've always required to make sure the property lines were where they're supposed to be before you ever do the variance to get closer to that line. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I mean, I could probably take a metal detector out there and find a lot of things. Sure, I wouldn't want to go over that, but I know your measurements, whatever, if your deed calls through wherever it's at, says it's there. Please present it, I guess.
If that property line was established, looking at your request for separating these two cases, looking at your request for the property fence, you don't need the setback or the variance from the side of your house. You're asking it from the front of the house.
Right.
If you were to bring that fence back to the full 25 foot, where would that end up on your house in terms of the privacy fence?
It doesn't cover any of our
It
windows.
doesn't cover the bedroom or it would in the living room.
So
There'll
from
be
the,
partial bedroom. but it
from the
doesn't-
side view on A4 shows you where the fence would be.
That's what I was looking at.
And the scale is 1/8 of 1 foot. So if you count back panels, you would be almost right in the center, just on the other side of the bedroom window. That's where the fence is. So we would still get all the light from the cars coming around David's, and it's nonstop light in our bedroom, our living room. And when we discussed it with the architect, he suggested the privacy fence. And we worked with Steve. We took all kinds of pictures with angles of view before we decided that that was something that we wanted. That it would actually stop the lights coming in our house on a regular basis.
We have been pretty adamant about the 25 feet setback on our fences. We've actually had some that was actually going to court over the 25-foot setback. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a position where I would.
I know, thank goodness you don't look at previous cases and. go
And I
from
don't
there.
look at previous cases, I'm looking at court cases. When I'm in a brick law, then yes, I look at it. So, I mean, if I was proving somebody else brick law, same thing. So.
If I may,
It's a state.
Mrs. Cooper, if I may ask you a question?
Yes.
The property stakes, are you familiar with where those are at, where those are located?
I am.
And are they easily visible right now?
They were marked before with spray paint.
I'm sorry?
They were marked with spray paint before.
They were marked with spray paint
Mhm.
by whom?
My husband, my father-in-law.
Okay,
Yeah, I had uncovered all 4 corners of their property a while back.
so somebody could go out there and find all those stakes now and
If they're still there, I can show you exactly where they're. I have pictures in my phone of all 4.
And they correlate with what?
I haven't seen what they're.
Okay.
Yeah, I can show you a picture of that. Would be northwest corner property where I found it.
I think I would say the same thing though at this point is if there's any contention or they need to be demonstrated, we would have to have that reset by a professional
And
surveyor.
just for the record, I've measured everything. It's part of what I do for a living.
Right.
I've measured and verified everything that what I was finding was actually a property.
But given the nature of the case and some of the circumstances, I think between, at least on the side, we would probably recommend a survey to have those reestablished officially. And that way we have a clarity of understanding. If there was going to be any building done, and saying that as town manager.
I think you're right. I think under the circumstances of what we're looking at, it doesn't sound like we got too much contesting as far as where they are, but as far as legally where the markers are is what we're gonna have to go.
Well,
by.
Mr. President, you said it yourself. When you're asking for a variance, usually we have an established property line.
Right,
You said that earlier, and I'm only
Right.
repeating it.
and I agree, naturally.
Good, because you're agreeing with yourself.
So I know we have two different topics here. You have the porch, and it seems like we moved kind of to the fence right now.
Right.
So if I can
Everybody's done
comment
with
on-
the property lines and all that stuff.
If I can comment on
Back to it again.
Okay, can I may I comment on the fence?
Yes, please go ahead.
So I hadn't heard, do you have any objections to the privacy fence between the properties, Mrs. Cooper?
I do not, just as long as it is within the legal boundaries, we have no issue.
You're clarify what you said, you're saying whether it goes
Within the setbacks?
for the setback, or are you going by, if they were gonna get that, whatever it is.
They're asking for a
You might
12-foot
not even know
variance.
what it looks- you might not even know where.
So they're asking to start their fence 12 feet back from the property line along the road.
Did you want to see it?
As long as it's on the north side of the south property line,
You're welcome.
they don't have a problem.
As long as on the north side.
And if I may,
So
North
12 foot. 12 foot
find the red
setback,
ring somewhere
not
here.
a problem.
So fine. As long as it's on the north side. of the south-
Okay.
the south property.
This might be the
That, yeah, we need to know that.
Just so you can see it came from a property pass.
I spoke to Robert Cooper Jr., and he was not objecting to the privacy fence.
The privacy fence or where it comes to.
My conversation with him, he was objecting to the porch, but not to the privacy fence.
You know, which Cooper is this?
The one that lives at 528 Junior?
Yeah.
It's the
Your
third.
husband, Robert?
Robert's the third.
Okay,
third.
yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to make sure I get, because I know that there's three of them, and I know you're two.
I know you too. All right. We'll bring up the fence then. So, anybody got anything, questions or anything about the fence? I mean, I wouldn't call it 25-foot setback, you're asking for
You're asking for 12 foot.
12
That's
foot.
the only question I would have is visibility pulling out of the driveway.
Exactly.
And
But I don't,
But it's gonna be,
it's level with the front of the house as the rendering shows it. That house is gonna be, it is, actually, it's about 2 foot behind. You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's behind
Yep.
the front of the house.
Shows it clearly.
From the front of the house,
Correct.
that's why I was asking for in the house, to the property line.
Yeah, it will not create any more obstruction to your view as you back out than the house itself. If less actually, because it's.
Because you're not bringing the fence
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
toward the porch, you're just stopping.
We're just taking it right to the window.
That's the best
Now
rendering.
I see it.
Just a little past that one, probably about 2 or 3 foot past
And
it.
that's
If that.
behind the wherever the property line
Mhm.
is
Again,
again.
well, honestly, as long as it's inside the property line.
Right, it's not- well,
but adjacent to or inside the.
Yeah, either.
You have a
Adjacent to.
You have a secure basis of measurement from the side of your house because it's pretty consistent property line. It's straight.
8 foot, what you're saying.
8 foot,
But the fence would be 6 foot.
let's go 7.6. To be safe on the property.
what what is it from the property line? Where do you propose?
Right now, the lines that are marked on the ground are 3 inches inside the actual property.
Well, if it's 3 inches, we're gonna have to contest, to go back to the property line.
That would have to establish the property
Well,
line.
the boundary survey does that. And
Well,
I think to avoid any type of dispute moving forward, so your project is you want your fence in at once and not moved, having that property line established, either move in a foot at 7 foot or bring it to your property line, but have it established for once and for all.
Which can be a
Officially.
condition if you.
Right.
if
I mean, it's gonna be a
approved.
condition for the porch anyway.
I think it'll avoid any type of
So you
conflict
still have,
moving
still have
forward.
a 2 foot setback.
Right.
And they said they're agreed as long as it's on our property.
That is correct. Establish the property line. You have no problem as long as you honor the 12-foot setback. Correct?
I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I got a question about 12 foot. Now, because In the request, it's asking for a 15-foot setback for the fence.
That's where it was originally when we published it.
So it's,
It didn't cover the window.
well, I'm just saying, we're gonna have to amend.
Put a note to it.
We're gonna have to put another change to this,
Correction in the variance request.
to the variance request.
12-foot setback in
With
lieu of
15 feet.
15.
Okay, all right. Yeah, 12 foot instead
It
of,
would be 12 foot instead of 15.
Which,
And if,
oh, okay, because asking for a 15-foot setback from a 25. Now
Yes.
we're looking at 12,
Yes,
12,
so the change would be from 15-foot setback to a 12-foot setback.
yes.
that's correct.
And we're gonna note that in the
So you're adding 3 more foot to the
12 foot
variance.
setback from 15 from 25.
12 from 25, yeah,
There you go.
Up to requesting 12 from 25.
or not from, instead. Yeah. All right. So,
The other thing you may want to add to the vote, since it's something to it, what you just said with the survey requirement of establishing the property line.
I think that would be a request from the Board of Zoning Appeals to
the
bring
No, I
that
wouldn't call a request, I'd call a condition.
condition.
Obviously, you don't want to give up some of your property on the other side of that fence. You
And
probably
the
don't wanna
ordinance says once you have that, you can put it right adjacent to, so you can put it.
Understood.
Yeah,
right
As
on.
long as it's not a
so that's gonna be
maximize that front yard.
responsibility of the city to get that survey.
No.
right?
No, it is not.
It's not,
It is not the town's responsibility. It's the homeowner's responsibility for the building.
but they have to hire somebody.
Correct.
That is correct.
But I don't see moving forward or even with a condition, you get the property established before you can even vote.
No, you can move, you can have that as a condition.
You can absolutely have it.
Regarding the fence, you can say, you can approve or disapprove. If you
Oh, well.
approve,
Okay.
you can say it's approved upon the condition that you have a surveyed line on the property.
And the approval of the building commissioner, who will be responsible for enforcing that.
So as far as where you'll be able to put the fence actually established by the property line, which you have established. Okay. All right.
So you're separating the two issues. You got the porch, and you have the
Separate two
fence.
issues. So the porch would be A and fence will be B, is that correct? Guess we make note of that too. Yeah.
Okay, so B,
B16A and B16.
Yes, please clue.
Or B16A.
Since I'm not good, I'm going to take that bathroom, but I'll be right back.
All right. So, no other discussion, we'll go with finding of facts for the fence. Which,
No,
Should we do
Porch
the
was
porch
A.
first?
porch is A. What you want to do?
No, no,
Porch,
you just did,
porch is A.
I did
A.
porch is
you
A,
did porch
Okay.
A.
which is A, fence is B.
night fence B.
so we should do the porch first.
Yes. to them in order.
Well, I think we do, we're not gonna be finding facts, because that's still gonna be established for proper line.
That's under, no, you can approve it with conditions.
Well,
You can still vote on it with conditions. Absolutely.
but under this present thing, we can do that. I don't agree with that.
Well, Mr. President, if your board's.
My thought is because we're still trying to concern as far as the variance for the porch, the length of where it's going, we haven't decided on that yet, whether that's gonna be approved, unless you want to take it further. But I'm not, I don't approve of the fence, the porch being all the way where it's at. Talking about, we're gonna get back in, talking about the traffic flow with the dunes, I agree with you. I mean, I was even on the BZA at the time, we talked about the traffic flow. And I live on South Ohio Street, and I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing traffic right now. When it comes off of south, come north on Main.
Where we go?
I don't know. I don't know where we're at.
I'm looking at the traffic, as far as that, that's
But
where
you're
I'm
saying
feeling right
that-
now. We can
wait,
go
I
ahead
don't
and vote
understand
on
what
this
you're
if
saying.
you want to.
You're saying that the porch is an obstruction to the traffic flow.
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying because of that.
Oh.
Under the same things that Mr. Cooper was talking about, as far as the porch being all the way out there, because it's further closer to the road than what the other is. The fence is not gonna affect it. I think it's just blocking light from the wind. But the porch itself is not gonna be affected anyway by the fence.
When I was with Mr. Gorski, he showed me page 114 of the code and asked me to look from where the setback was at 12 feet, the distance of vision in each direction. And it only needs to be 10.8, 5 in distance of sight. And we have 71 feet to the left and infinity to the right. So it doesn't impair any vision because it's an open porch. You can see all the way through it. As a matter of fact, there's trees on our property that are closer to the road than our porch.
Well, you got that all through town, but by your porch being actually closer to the street than what the one even to the south, even any more up on the street, I feel that's impaired because anybody on the sidewalk from the porch and everything else, I do. I think it's putting people at more at risk. And that's just my feeling.
So it's 8, so the porch will be 8 inches where the steps were to the sidewalk.
Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being full length all the way up to the other end of the porch.
But it's only gonna still be where the last step was to the sidewalk.
I'm not talking about the west side. I'm talking about the south side.
Beyond the vision issue of traffic, if I may, Mr. President. One of the things I would ask is the hardship we talked about with the fence. I understand that because of the light, the glare that you mentioned from the traffic, as well as some issues with defining that property on that side. Whereas the hardship may be not as clear on the porch of what the need is. And again, with all due respect, I do think that there's a hardship for the fence that gives some circumstance there for your windows. And that allows for that variance, whereas maybe there's not the same hardship involved in the porch extension.
Right.
It's a consideration. I'm not a voting member. It's just something I'm putting on the table for your consideration.
I mean, I discussed that to start with, as far as the hardship for the porch, not being like it was. I mean, you're extending all the way out. For what reason? Other than you want.
Be able to, and to be able to sit outside on the porch.
Yeah.
And make it
Because we've never been
aesthetically.
able to.
Yeah, and it is nice.
You know, when we got an architect involved, they gave us a number of options. Well, it looked best from all sides was an open
But
porch.
I mean, I've been building houses for several years, flood porches, decks, all that. And when I gave my purpose, I would want you to build a bigger one. If I built it, I couldn't get paid more. Honestly, so I won't use that as an excuse either way. I just feel like there's no hardship there. For the rest. So. But if we want to go ahead, go find the facts, we find. And we'll go with the
We're gonna
porch.
go for the,
We'll go for the porch first. That's
well,
what
do we
you-
have to go and get a different variant? Like, do we have to table this and go for,
You,
have Steve do his?
You can table the porch if you want to go ahead with the fence
And to consider options
and consider options.
Yeah.
is absolutely within your right.
Otherwise, we can go ahead and vote.
So we're gonna table
The
A.
board.
We're gonna table 16A, the porch.
This is so confusing.
I've got you.
know, believe me.
You're wanting to table for further discussion with the building commissioner, Mr. Gorski. 16A is being requested to be tabled for further discussion. Or go ahead.
I don't understand it all because what Steve said is this can be approved per.
Yeah, but
Right.
with the-
We're,
Steve
it's,
is not on the
we
floor.
can take,
Steve is just a recommendation to this board.
so what you can offer is you can have 16A voted for on the porch as it stands right now, or you can table it for further discussion and adjustment.
I want to table it because of the whole variance thing that he was talking about, that he said he missed.
Okay.
So because of that, I want to table it for.
So we can table 16A because it's a year if we vote and it's a negative.
If we table that.
You can go ahead with 16B as a vote still, because you've separated the issues
Right,
on the
but we need
variance.
to move to table this to a date, which would be,
That's Mr. Gorski's back. They decided to table 16A on the porch.
Okay,
that date would be,
the next meeting is September 19th.
so this, I guess, 2024 B 16A then will be tabled
It's a lot.
until September 19th.
19th?
Yes.
Can you do a work session?
Pardon?
Would it be possible to do a work session?
A work session, you probably can't talk. I mean, work session is usually discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more for internal.
During the work session, the decision can't be made.
Okay, so to be clear, Pauline, you're asking to table the porch request, which is,
Yep.
I'm sorry, 16A.
For B 16A.
You got it. We're gonna table that till September 19th, correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
We need to vote on that to table it.
No,
It's a
there's no
request by you,
vote.
There's no.
Uh,
Yes, you
Yeah,
have to have
you
a
do.
vote to
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
And it has to specifically say the date that's being tabled to.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Motion,
I propose that we table case 24 B 16A,
Specifically the porch.
specifically the porch, that we table it until September. That's my.
Yep.
I got a motion.
My motion.
And a second.
I'll second.
And we got a second. No discussion. All in favor, saying aye.
Mine.
Aye. Opposed. Same sign.
I said aye to
Okay. All right.
former, the table.
All right, so really table come back on September 19th. Okay. Now we're looking at the fence.
I would like to make a motion.
We gotta find our facts first, Mr. Stratton.
Finding the facts. Okay, yes.
Okay. Okay, first thing on it is the general welfare. The approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Either agree or disagree. If you disagree anytime, you will. have to vote no. Number two, adjacent property. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Agree or disagree? And number three, practical difficulty, the strict application of terms of zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties of use of the property. Situation should not be self-imposed nor be based on perceived reduction of or restriction on economic gain. Either agree or disagree. Now, if anybody voted no, this run you have to vote no, so disagree. So, it's time. A motion?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion to approve case 2024-16B. Approval for the
Specific to the privacy fence.
specific with the property line be established.
So specific to the privacy fence with the property line being established by survey.
Survey. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
First and a second. Any discussion? Right. All approved, sign saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any approve? Any disapprove? Aye. Aye. Yep. All right, so it's 3-1. And one vote.
Should I know the minutes? We voted aye, we voted nay.
Yes,
Yes. If you can pass your finding of facts to me for that, please.
Moving on.
Okay, you just want 16B, correct?
Yes.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Case number 2024-17. 39 Benita Village. Over Indiana, parcel. The petition has been filed by Eric Larson to approve the variance of development to build a deck on the front lakeside of the house. Excuse me, the deck would be 6 feet, requiring 19-foot setback. 25-foot setback. All right, Eric, you want
Yep, my name's Eric Larson, with Larson Job Contracting, 19360 17th Road in Culver. I'm representing the homeowner for 39 Venetian. The homeowner, I believe, was on the call.
Yes.
Dr. Rachel Olson, she's going to be commenting with us. We are requesting that this deck be built back on the front side of the property. The deck was existing, but was torn off the house. From what we gather from the neighbors, this deck was torn off roughly 8 years ago. The homeowners had intentions of rebuilding the deck, even went as far as buying materials, which I believe have pictures included in there. But then they never got to it. So we have pictures of, the materials you can see on the front side of the property where the deck hung off of what would be the main floor. One of the big hardships with this is that is the second means of egress for that floor, first being the front door. There's a bedroom. The bedroom does have a window, but that front side of the house, that door goes to nowhere now. There's no other way to get out of that house. It is a true A-frame, as you can see. There's no side doors coming off of what would be the north-south sides. And again, we'd like to get that deck rebuilt and actually put a little bit of an extension on it to facilitate the homeowner's needs.
So that spiral staircase is not going to be used or is going to be used?
Is not going to be used.
And the deck is on the front. It's in our, is it?
It would be the second story.
Oh, it comes out, sorry.
Okay, it comes out to the windows.
Correct. So that's actually a 20-foot door. We're sliding doors like this. Like rip them out to the deck.
20 foot?
Yes, it's 20-foot opening.
but you've only got 10 of them.
Yeah, right.
That's a pretty good fall too.
Yeah.
How far out from the house you gonna bring that, you said? You did.
So
say.
the current front face of the house sits at 26 feet. There's a 2-foot overhang at the top.
Yep.
That brings us down to 24. So our maximum would be a 19-foot setback. So it'd be roughly 6 feet.
Yeah, you're asking for 6-foot variance. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, correct.
No, it's just gonna go out to the lake.
What's that?
It's just gonna go out to the lake. The deck.
Yeah, it's on the lake side.
Yeah, it's just, yes, it's gonna go off the deck.
So I want to show you the other drawing.
Channel.
of the deck to the next. All right,
So you're still gonna have like 18 feet from the lake?
yes,
Oh, you're coming over here.
this is the option that they would like to do. You would like to do. There's both one of these.
Well, there's a side deck too.
Yeah.
Correct, there is a side deck on this option.
I suppose I put in the property line, that was in the property lines.
The original deck that was there that
Yes.
encased the circular stairs, I'm trying to envision it from this picture here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
What would be from the frontage railing here of the original deck that's torn down? Where would that be in relation to what you're asking for here?
So roughly what was on there is about what was there. Is that what you came through with your measurement?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
What are we actually building? I mean, what kind is it gonna be as far as you putting from the front? I know you're gonna put a roof over this, right?
Yep, so the deck would be coming across.
Right.
This front side here would come out 6 feet and then it'd be a screened-in porch below.
Okay, thanks. You steps on back, straight with the roof.
Yeah, so now, so in this one, we would actually have the stairs coming back towards the back side of the house. It wouldn't go towards the lake.
Right.
So is this a property line here?
No, there's a big side yard on this property. So we've got all of this side yard. This is a secondary lot that they own and then it's.
So this is not gonna affect the high water mark.
That's coming.
What's that?
So the deck would be.
Yeah, I was no, yeah,
And the side deck would be here.
Would be right there, correct.
it's at the edge of the lake, right at the edge.
Is that the edge lake?
Yeah. It goes right to, it goes right to, it goes right to the edge of the street.
There was really no high water mark on that channel. The lake.
Yeah.
Well, there is, it goes right to the edge.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sorry, it doesn't come up.
I
in the
want to
article.
get this out.
Okay.
Yes. Now, you mentioned that there, because I was gonna ask you how far this deck was gonna be from the side property line, and you started talking, you said that they owned another piece of property.
Yes.
Is that,
So this is, they have 46, almost 47 from the edge of the house to the property line. They do own this piece of property.
as a separate
The
parcel?
property